Hello, my friends. This is Cliff Graves from Train World Boxing. How are you all? I thought I'd release this video because I am just at my wit's end, exasperated. Exasperated. I am an ex-boxer, and this is the slant I'm coming in at. This video, this routine for boxers, but you can use it if you like to go to the boxer side. Fantastic. If you do kung fu training, fantastic. If you do tennis training, fantastic. We don't ask you for one single penny. And if you're a lovely friends listening across the pond, one single dime. We don't charge you. So what have you lost? Just a bit of time. So if you're like me, grab your coffee. You got your coffee. Sit back, relax. Okay, you don't even have to look at my boat. My face, boat race face. You don't even have to look at it. Just listen. Sit back, relax, and listen. There will come a time in this video where I'll say, grab a pen and pad. But I just want to go into this absolute ludicrousity of plyometrics. Now, if you did little else as a fighter, then yeah, plyometrics work and work very well. But as we go through this video, you will say, hang on a minute, how much time do I have and energy do I have? Sadly, unfortunately, regrettably, some fighters do take the easier option and go onto the juice, performance enhancing drugs. And they say it's to be on a level playing field because all the other buggers are doing it, which I don't entirely agree. But if you're getting up between 5 and 6 o'clock to do your running, you have to come back post your run. Notice I said run, not jog. There's a difference between long distance, slow running and running. And I'm going to tell you that in a minute. You've got to rest. You've got to get yourself back to Uncle Ned bed. You've got to. You've got to. Because you will flake out. If you're on one of these world professional fighters, Conor Ben, for example, that we just saw recently, I thought he boxed fabulously. I've never shied away from the fact that I have, and I've always been loyal. I've always been a Chris Eubanks fan, even when Eubanks Senior was fighting. Out of these two, I couldn't call it because I love them both. I think they're fantastic, absolutely brilliant ambassadors for boxing. But going back to Conor, he would be probably training 3 times a day in his training camp for this fight they just had with Chris over the recent weekend. More than likely a run, road work in the morning, come back, rest, get up, breakfast, gym work, and then probably some weight training early evening, amalgamated with all the supplements they're taking, with the fantastic nutrition that they're eating, the calorie, all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Or some of them used to tag it on. I know, God rest his soul, the Hattons, Ricky Hatton and his brother used to run at 5 o'clock. I think Nigel Ben, in the evening. But it doesn't matter. You've got 3 sessions there. So when you come to do your skills work, your bag work, your sparring, all this speedball work, did I say pad work? Pad work. All that shadow boxing, you've got to have enough energy to be able to perform it with zap, pizzazz. And plyometrics should be thrown straight out. And I'm going to tell you why. Plyometrics relies on the principle of elastic energy. So for a fighter, a boxer who punches a lot, to produce this kinetic power, this kinetic energy, the kinetic sequencing of a punch, ankles, hips, trunk, straight the way through, following, carving through. Some coaches call it carving, when you just the shoulder, you just let the shoulders go. More on that another time. You know, I mentioned about weight training. Now, why is a fighter doing weight training? I think a little bit for professional fighters because they want to look a little bit good, don't they? Yes. I would say 5% of their weight training is revolved around that. I just think the training, what they do, as a matter of course, will build fantastic physiques. And the crowd do look for that. Oh, let's see what he looks like. And off come the robes, and you see Chris Eubanks shredded right the way up. You see Conor Ben looking like a right powerhouse. And it's good. It's all part of it. The showmanship. But most of it is to get strong. To get strength. Stop going off at a tangent. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I've got to do these jumping, these pogo jumps. Why? Oh, because of the stretch shortening cycle. We don't want lazy calves. We don't want lazy ankles. We want springy, man. Springy. I dig that. But you can get that with properly applied strength training. You really can. If you get under the barbell, disclaimer alert, please listen in, without going over and above your capacity, so applying the science bit here, that would be, say, I reckon going about 90% of your 1 rep maximum. So if, for example, just to make it simplistic, the calculation simplistic for you to get your head round, if you can do 1 all-out rep with 100 kilograms, then you should be utilizing 90 kilograms for your strength training. 90%, 87.5% to 90%, 85, preferably 85 in that window, 85 to 90%. So on the back squat, that would be 85, ramping it up, which we're going to show you how to do in a minute, to 95 kilograms. Now, How do you apply a stretch shortening cycle with a low bar back squat? You could do it high bar. I prefer the low bar. You might not. Speed, man. Speed. We're not looking for necessarily hypertrophy, are we, as a fighter? If you're a heavyweight fighter, then you can go 16 and a half, 17 and a half, 18 and a half, whatever weight you feel, because there is no restrictions. If you're a super middleweight in that bracket, it's a fine cutting line. So you've got to be intelligent with your weight training, with your strength training. So you do it fast. Once you've got the technique down of how to low bar back squat, which is a learning process, then you can begin to apply speed. And I'm going to give you a little tip here. Why I believe doing this type of training in a power cage, one of those 360 jobs, not a power rack, a power cage, is superior, is because you can actually bounce that weight off. So what you do is you get some plumber's lagging piping and just put it over your safety rails. So it doesn't go ding, it doesn't make that sound. It protects them a little bit. And you drop as you would do properly with a low bar squat. You do not resist the eccentric. You do not resist the flexion when your torso comes forward. When you drive it up out of the hole, you are using concentric power. And it won't shoot up like if you was using 30 kilograms circuit training. You can pump it away, can't you? You will not do that. If your 1 rep max is 100 kilograms, 1 RM, you will not do that with 90. It will grind up, but the intention is you're powering that up, man. You're powering it up with everything you've got to create speed. But it will probably take a couple of seconds, maybe 3 as you start to fatigue on the concentric side. But it's that more, I'll spell this to you because I do have a little bit of a speech impediment. A motorization phase. AMORIZATION. I apologize, folks, but I do have a slight speech impediment. Motorization phase. And that is when it's that change bit between eccentric, concentric. And it's that bit, bam, you get the bounce. So that bit, bam, with a punch, that with a punch, that with a punch. When you're doing one punch, when you're doing a comedy, bam, 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 that's a different matter. It's that from eccentric changing into eccentric, and you help it along the way with a little bounce. So you're not trying to slow the thing down, the barbell down, as you're going into the eccentric. That A phase, because I got to say it, sorry, folks. Oh no, I'm mad as mud here, but I suppose it does help in this bad world, doesn't it? That A phase, you know what I just mentioned. It's that concentric, eccentric, concentric, bang. This bit, when my hands go level, that's a bam. That is the bit where you are incorporating the SSC, the stretch shortening cycle. as you go down, you're lowering down, you're lowering down, you're lowering down, you're elongating the muscles, aren't you? And then you change. And that is what you need. So you just do this with just basic exercises. The same with the bench press. What's happening with the bench press? I like to do mine out like this and bring it down to my neck. Hence being in the safety cage. Don't do these buggers outside. Always do it with your training partner, you know what I mean? If you can't coming down your throat, please don't ever do that. So you can't come down, or you can come down, can't see my arms. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like a normal bench press. You could do them with dumbbells if you wanted to. And it's the same thing. You let it go down, and it's that bit there, it's that bit there, it's that bit there, with that bit's there, it's that bit's there. If you're applying the kinetic chain, you've utilised the rotation of the ankles to cause rotation of the hips, to cause a stretch shortening cycle in the torso right the way up. They call this one the anterior oblique sling. It's like a crisscross, and bam, you let it go. There's your elastic energy applied via weight training. Then when you're done, you're out the door, mate, with your protein drink, your carbohydrate drink. Or if they've got facilities at your gym, you rest it up, don't you? Go and have a shower, you rest it up, and you read. You read a magazine. Depending on when you phase your weight training in, pre or post your skills training. There's an argument for and against doing it before or after. Before, you're fresher. After, you're more tired. So that is what jumping off a frigging stupid box does. The same principle, biological, biomechanical principle. When you apply simple common sense science, you will see it is exactly the same thing. To jump down and then off. It is not necessary, and it is not necessary to try and incorporate it into weight training. It is not. Because if you want to tag it on, these plyometrics, to the end of a weight training set, try this. Do your weight training set and then literally almost immediately get onto a wall bag, not a punch bag, a wall bag. Or you could have your coach hold a punch bag, but preferably a wall bag, and then smack the what's his names out of it for a period of about between 10 to 20 seconds. You've activated the neurological system via the heavy weight training. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to tell you that in a minute for free. That's been, so you're agitated, do you know what I mean? You're ready. You're like your cat, you've got the reflexes of a cat. You feel strong. You feel like a lion. None of this stupid, ridiculous, time wasting, time energy sapping plyometrics when you could be getting the same principles on a wall bag specific to boxing. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say? Out goes the window, all those unnecessary stuff. Get rid. Get rid of it. Get rid of it, folks. I was just trying to look to see what's happened there. Don't worry about it. Just looking at my computer. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? You can get reflexive training, reactive training, stretch, shortening cycle training through your weight training. And then if you so wish, you can contrast it with sports specific drills, which would mean getting onto a wall bag and hitting it hard. Utilizing the kinetic sequencing chain to get your punches off. If you tried to do that for 12 rounds, you'd get your head jabbed off, because yes, there is punches and bunches and set up punches. I'm talking about there comes a time for the power punching stuff in the trench fighting stuff, where it's all about power, it's all about strength. And I've just told you how to do it. Don't bother anymore with plyometrics. But you've got to get that bounce in that A phase. You've got to have that bounce bit, that return bit. That is the bit that gives that oomph. Because you pulled it back, like the bow and arrow. There's the bow and arrow being pulled back. Bam! Now you've let it go from that bit. So as far as you can go down, which if you're in the safety rails, power cage, right, it would just kisses my Adam's apple. It's about an inch away. If I dropped that 100 kilo thing in, it'd make a loud clanking noise, but it wouldn't get me on the throat. So you come down as low as you can. You've got that stretch there, stretching all across here. And it's bam! That is all plyometrics is. And you've got to look at these coaches that come online espousing all of this nonsense. All they are doing, folks, is trying to feather their own cap, make themselves look good. They've taken their eye off the ball, which is to get the fighter strong. When you go into the weight room, it's to get the fighter strong. If you want to do all this interval training, 45 minutes on the bag, stamina training, do it. Because that formulates part of your skills training, doesn't it? And this is why I said before, only a live coach that has been with you for considerable time, like Conor Benn's coach, that knows him inside out, loves him to bits, will know what he can do and how he can push and how he needs it. Does he need more on the pads? Does he need more sparring? Is it more power on the wall bag? Not all this stupid, pathetic plyometrics. Let me give you this weight training session. It's a 4-day weight training session. I'm just using these days as they are my training days for what integrates into my program. Do you have your pad and pen ready? Right, let's crack on then. Tuesday, chest and biceps. Neck press. An A2 EZ bar bicep curls. I'll give you the sets and stuff in a minute. Wednesday, neck. Using a neck harness, neck extension, neck flexion. Friday, legs, low bar back squats, A1 and A2, halting, paused, deadlift. Saturday, back and triceps, A1, straight arm pull-ups, straight arm. A2, if you can do them, weighted tricep dips. Those are the exercises. Now let's apply the reps and sets. This is known as the 1-5 method. Okay, I will explain the 1-5 method and give you explanations for all how we do it. But let me just tell you. So Tuesday was chest and biceps. Both of these exercises is performed the 1-5 method. So for the neck press, 1-5, for the EZ biceps curl, 1-5. On the neck, because of the delicate structures within the neck, we can still train it hard, but it should be more endurance focused. Just your bog standard 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. Friday, back squats 1-5 method, halting deadlift 1-5 method. And then on Saturday, the straight arm pull-ups 3 times 10, tricep dips 3 times 10. Now, let's just first explain 1-5, the 1-5. In effect, you're doing like 6 sets of neck press, 6 sets of curls, which makes 12 sets. Now, this is purely strength, where you do incorporate the SSC, okay, the strength, the stretch, shorten and cycle. So let's just take the example of the neck press. You perform 1 rep, okay, 1 rep. So that could be, if your 1 rep maximum is 100 kilograms, it could be about doing about, say, 90 kilograms. You rest about 3-4 minutes. Your heart rate will hardly be doing anything, but that's not the thing. You've got to let the nervous system quieten down. You could incorporate a quick 10-15 second blast out on a wall bag. Utilizing our example of 100 kilograms as your 1 rep max, after about 3 to 4, maybe even 5 minutes rest, you then do a lighter weight, 80 to 85 kilograms for the 5 reps. Okay? You take a rest. 3-4 minutes. And you perform now the second wave, 3 and 4 sets. You got me? The first one was set 1, second one was set 2 that you just performed. Now you're on to set 3 and set 4. The 1 repetition maximum stays the same at 90 kilograms. However, you do increase a little bit the 5 reps. So that could be for sets 3 and 4 of this particular exercise. You decide to do 90 kilograms on the 1 rep max, rest 3 or 4 minutes, or do something on the wall bag, something like that. Increase, ramp up the 5 reps to say from 80 to 85. Just as we said, doing it, bouncing it off to get the stretch shortening cycle activated. And then you do it, you rest again 4 to 5 minutes, so you're properly refreshed, and then you bang out reps, sets 5 and 6. The 1 rep max on reps, the final 2 reps of this particular exercise, the 1 rep max stays the same, but you increase the 5 reps, which in our example could go up to say something like 87.5 kilograms, and you bang out the 5 reps. So you've ramped up on the 5 reps, but the 1 rep has remained the same. That is known as post-tetanic. It's something that Charles Poliquin had, that he had old Ben Johnson, a Canadian guy. He'd do a set of heavy back squats before the 100 meters, and then he'd just go. We know that there were other implications with him, but that's the idea behind it, that it gets you faster and gets you stronger. Post-tetanic, PAP training, post-activation, something like that. Doesn't really matter, does it? If I've gone askew on the scientific terminology of it, but you've got the idea of that. So for any of these exercises that I've said 1 to 5, that's how you incorporate it, ensuring you don't go over and above your capacity, folks, because that would just negate the exercise completely. On the 3 to 10, on the 3 times 8 to 10, we do on the neck, because of the delicate structures in the neck. Yeah, you got to be careful. I've got a little bit rick in the back of my neck, even now. But slow and steady on this one is always the best way. And you just do it like a bog standard. When you can perform 8 reps, you try and get the next workout 9 or 10 reps. And when you can get 3 sets of 10, that's when you increase the resistance. But respect your neck, because there's very delicate structures in it. So that's why we don't do this very intensive 1-5 method. Legs speaks for itself, doesn't it? 1-5 method. The halting deadlift, I think, it's a cracker, because it will, by the very nature of what you do, activate the posterior oblique sling musculature. It has to, because what you do is you push up with a barbell and halt it just either above or below your knees, keeping your hips high, keeping your back as straight as an arrow. And you halt it there 1 second, 2 seconds, and then you track back down the way, you come back up again. When we get to our new place, because we're moving, I'm going to do a video of all these exercises, video tutorials, so don't worry. Saturday, we've gone into 3 times 8 to 10. Now, I have seen, and it's a rarity, tough, hard, strong hombres able to do the straight arm pull up weighted. Now, I have problem getting 1 or 2 of these, and that's why I know that they are superior to this. You hold onto the bar, right? And then you just pull down with this, which obviously will raise your torso up off the floor. And that is all latissimus dorsi. Slight bend, slight bend. You want to externally rotate. That's internal. That's externally rotate at the shoulder joint, and then just go for it. If you can't, just get these bands, resistance bands, and sit on them like in a swing, like you would in a swing. You try that exercise. You try it. Seriously. You try it. You try it. And see how difficult and hard it is. But again, you utilize the stretch shortening cycle, that when you go up and you let yourself down again, there's the bounce. Go up. There's that bounce. Bit 2. Just come up to the horizontal and you lean away. Actually, you lean away with your back. Incline your torso. Come back up. It's all about bounce. So do make sure you've warmed yourself up properly. Otherwise, you will tear something. The tricep dips are the tricep dips on a parallel bar. Now, when you do these strict without any forward body lean, keeping the body upright, keeping the feet directly under your torso, and you just come up and you press down and up and down. No body English, up and down. So it's all here and here, but literally nothing there on the chest. When you can do 8, increase it to 9, 10. When you can do 10, now is the time to increase with weight. So you'd be doing, if you get to this stage, straight arm pull-ups, weighted, weighted tricep dips, incorporating the stretch shortening cycle. So bounce, momentum. We are not bodybuilding here. To do that for bodybuilding is totally wrong way to do it. Totally wrong way. And that's it. All yours for free. All yours for free. No strings. I haven't secretively said, oh, log in here, become a member here, set up a password for this, set up a password for that, like you're some computer programmer trying to get in just to source and access information, have I? But I tell you something. This is the most productive strength training workout session in existence for any fighting sport. And I challenge you to tell me differently. I don't say that big-headedly. I just say, tell me then. If something's better, tell me. If your precious plyometrics that you blossom out your workouts with, you flower them out to create this bouquet, as it were, then tell me, educate me. I challenge you. I challenge you, boxing coaches, strength and conditioning boxing coaches. Get online, have a bit of guts, have a bit of bottle. Get online and tell me where I've gone wrong. And you know the reason why you won't is because you don't want to be exposed as a fraud and a charlatan. This is Cliff Grays from Trainng Boxing. Speak to you again soon. Ciao.